Today on Tricrow Studios, we take a look at what I've been told is the weirdest guitar that I own. The Gretsch G6120DC, so the double cut, Chet Atkins Nashville. Now, first and foremost, I have to say that I am really excited and feel that I'm very, very privileged to actually own this guitar. Now, I have to say that because the title of the video is this the weirdest guitar that I own? Now, a lot of people may take that in a negative light, may not actually watch the video and just leave negative comments because they think I don't like this guitar. I absolutely love this guitar. The reason that I'm titling it that is because everyone who's seen this guitar has said the same thing. It's got to be the weirdest guitar that you own. So that's why I say, is this the weirdest guitar that I own? It's nothing negative. Alright, I guess it'll be helpful to actually number things off. So let's start out with number 1, and this is something very easy and basic, and that is the 0 fret. So I'm not sure if this actually helps with the Bigsby or what, but this actually has a 0 fret, a fret that is right next to the nut. I kind of have that on one of my Gibson Les Paul Studios. Here's the Studio, and you see that there's a tiny fret right where the nut is. However, there's no real spacing, and it's basically a part of the nut. Number 2 will lead directly to number 3, and that is the sound holes. They're painted on. There are no sound holes here. I believe this was a request by Chet Atkins to combat feedback issues. If it wasn't Chet Atkins himself, he had requested it at least for this guitar specifically. So there's no holes here. The best way I can describe it with the changing of the sound, acoustically at least, is that it has a little more resonance to it. And the best way I can describe it, which may or may not make any sense, would be it has a little bit of poppy resonance to it. So, number 2 leads to number 3. Alright, number 3, if you ain't got no sound holes, how do you gain access to the inside of the guitar? Changing pickups, access to the tone pots and stuff like that. Well, boom. The back padded cover is number 3. Now this, when I saw this, initially, I always thought, you know what, that would be very noticeable and highly uncomfortable. It kind of looks like it's a drum pad, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of looks like that, you know what I'm saying? But I'd be the furthest from the truth to say that this is noticeable. To be honest, it's not noticeable at all. Well, I think one of the excuses as well to actually putting this onto the guitar was to say that, you know, you won't get buckle rash going on there. But clearly to be honest, I think that was an excuse. But this, I think, hands down, is one of the reasons that people go like, man, that is the weirdest guitar that you own. Number 4 is the mute switch, or the mute pad, I guess you would say. So normally what you would see is 3 knobs here. You'd see 2 volumes and a tone. This is not potentiometer or a knob at all. This is a mechanical lever that, when you lift it up, it brings the mute pad up to the strings. So what it does is it somewhat mutes or muffles the strings. So kind of gives you a sound, not exactly like your palm muting, but that kind of an idea. I'm going to play a little bit of a sample with this on, but I do have to say I have to replace the padding on mine. I can get it to work if I lift it up. Otherwise, it's only the top 3 strings on mine that really get muffled. If you want another example of why you might want to use this, I would say Google Herman's Hermits. Number 5, and this is something that's basically on all Gretsch guitars, but that is the master volume. If you're not familiar with Gretsch guitars, basically the whole idea here is if you're using the volume controls, or if you're using, like if this had a tone control or a tone potentiometer, and you get it down into that sweet spot, and you want to take like a bit of a break, the band's taking a break, but you don't want to turn your amp off or what have you, this allows you to actually turn the volume down so you can, talk or take a little bit of a break with everything still on, and then when you roll it back up, you still have your sweet spots for the potentiometers, so you don't have to kind of keep looking around for it. It's another great thing too, if you have those sweet spots and you want to do volume swells, this is where you'd want to really use do the controls for the volume swells. Number 6, as I hold this kind of like a violin here, would be this switch right here. This is a kill switch. This is an on, off, on kill switch. So if you were trying this guitar out in the store, you may kind of be confused, as if you have this in the middle position, nothing happens. It's only if it's in the up or in the down position that you actually hear anything on the guitar, and it does not control the pickups whatsoever. So this is kind of in the same idea as the master volume, but it kind of saves you from rolling the volume down or what have you, if that is, something that's inconvenience for you. Chet Atkins thought of this. That's definitely forward thinking. Now, this is not really meant for like a Tom Morello style kill switch, but let's see what kind of weird sounds we can get with this. Alright, number 7 is probably my most favorite part of this guitar. And it's not something that I would have thought it would be. And I've been quoted as saying it is addictive. And that is the tone switch. So there's no potentiometer or knob here, what have you, for tone. It's just 2 master volumes. Here is the toggle switch to go from bridge, middle, or in the neck position. In order to change the tone, there's a tone switch. So a 3-way toggle here for the tone. If you have it in the middle position, which confuses some people, but if you have it in the middle position, the tone is out of the circuit completely. It's only volume. If you have it in the down position, it's like having the volume or the tone rolled back to like, it's hard to say, but I would say probably about 7 or 8. And if you have it in the up position, it's like having the tone rolled back to like 3 or 4. So both of those can be considered as a sweet spot. But I can tell you, if you have it on the neck pickup, you have a nice, slightly broken up amp, maybe a little bit of reverb, or even just on the clean channel with a little bit of enhanced bass, and you have it in the up position. To be honest, I could probably just sit there and play chords and noodle a little bit for about 6 or 7 hours straight and never lose interest. Here's a quick sample. I'll do it just on the neck pickup, but in the middle, down, and then in the up position. Alright, so there you go. I know some people might think, you know what, it's an orange guitar. That's gotta be weird. But orange is never weird, alright? Never. Play this with an orange amp? Golden. But yeah, I wouldn't consider that to be something that someone would say, oh, that's a weird guitar, it's orange. Now, I love this guitar. I can't say it enough, and I honestly always look for excuses now to play it or to maybe use it in videos and stuff like that. So if I do like a no metal, no pedal video, you'll probably always see this guitar in it, just because it's fantastic. A lot of the things with my Brian Setzer hot rod, like the strings they feel a little loose. The Bigsby tremolo arm is a little looser on that one. That's not something that I find to be bad, but it's certainly something that I had a little bit of wishes to, like, oh, you know what, it'd maybe be a little nicer if it was this, or maybe I always like a little more tension on my strings. It's the same Bigsby, but I don't know what it is, but the tension on it is perfect. They are 10 to 46 strings, same as my Brian Setzer hot rod. And the tremolo arm on my Bigsby is not as loose. It's a little stiffer, which I like because it means I won't use it as much, or it'll be a little more subtle when I use it. Anyway, I do want to say, I know this is not what a lot of people, because a lot of people come to the channel for like metal kind of stuff, so this might not be a guitar that piques the interest of a lot of people, but I do think it's important to go over, you know, different functions or different features on guitars, especially from people like Chet Atkins, who was so forward-thinking and very revolutionary to the industry and music on a whole. On the whole, I guess you would say. And I think because of people like Les Paul, maybe Chet Atkins, to a lot of players may get lost in the shuffle. And I don't think that should be the case. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you were able to get a little bit of, I don't know, weirdness, I guess you would say, out of the video as well. And yeah, it's really all I gotta say, and thanks for the excuse to play this guitar again. I love it. Thanks for watching.